Hi everyone, you're actually watching Abantu Views, whereby you are given an opportunity to make sure that you speak your mind.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Abantu Views. On our previous episode, we looked at the crime rate in Mzansi. On this episode, we are continuing on the same subject with subtopics, gender-based violence and corruption. Njengoba wazi mbukelo ukuthi ukweba nokubulala akusikona kuphela ubugebengu esinabo. Ubugebengu kukhulu esibhekane nabo i-gender-based violence. Asiza ukuthi abantu bathini.
Well, I mean, look, Braamfontein is a very diverse city or area. You find a lot of people. You find the LGBTQI plus community, and you'd obviously experience those moments where if it's not turning heads, there's obviously comments that are made that are inappropriate and detrimental to the next person. So it hasn't been something that is hectic in terms of physically, but I do believe that emotional constraints as well are just as important as any physical constraints that anyone might experience.
GBV is very unfair, it limits our rights. Yes, it infringes on our rights to freedom. Like we no longer free. We no longer have freedom of movement. Because siyasaba ukuthi bazosibamba basitshontshe. And then also gender-based violence is not only abuse against women only, even men.
What I can say about it is that we could just look at both genders actually, not looking at the women and the children's side, or you understand, just look at the men side, the manlyhood and the womanhood, because like most people would just say this guy did that to me, but then obvious the society will take the side of the woman because it's like that. But then what can I say about, I don't have much brief about that, but that's how I think they should like take action and do thorough research about those things, you understand?
The men who commit these crimes against women, they're not men. Lockdown has nothing to do with that. The gender-based violence one, I want to be clear with that one. There's no situation or nothing that makes it right or convinces a man to hit a woman. You as a man, you cannot stand and hit a woman because a woman cannot stand for herself. Go there and go out and hit a man who can. I'm not promoting violence, but I have no excuse for gender-based violence. Nothing. It's wrong, and there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it.
I feel like charity begins from home, you understand? So in this case, we need like, us as people, we need to like, they have these sessions, we talk about these stuff, we try to spread the word about like these kind of cases, because like it don't just happen, I just wake up, beat the women. It started from home, it started somewhere, it started from the friends, the kind of topics we having. Instead of like having these weird topics, we should try to have these influential topics that motivate us and that kind of groom us to be better people. Because it's only us who can help us in this case, because if you have inner peace, you can never hit a woman.
With gender-based violence, I don't think it's upon the government at all. It's basically upon upbringings.
Most importantly, gender-based violence, we should understand it a bit broadly. I think most of the time, it communicates in the form of men abusing women, but there are also other women who are also abusing men, right? So we should look at it in both perspectives. But because mostly my advertiser as if it's male against women and all that. But secondly, whoever omaziyo oguthi mhlawumbe uyamazi to abuse someone and so that, it's best that you report the person. But I think we know when it comes to our victims, we can say, please come forward as our victims and report that person. But however, females, they are most likely to report our cases as compared to males, right?
Parents should raise their children in a way that they shouldn't abuse their mothers. It also lies on families also. It's upbringings. So fathers should not beat their women, or in other cases, men should not beat women at all. It all starts with upbringings and educated, how you taught or raised up. So government can't really do anything because many people are in abusive relationships. When we ask ourselves why, you know, and some females are used to being hit or, you know, being abused. So it's all about upbringings, and government can't really do anything, but I think we can change the way people should think and, yeah, just really educate people how to assist, you know, construct a good family.
We should also encourage our male figures, Uguti, if ever you find yourself in a position whereby you are being abused by your women, then it's best, Uguti, you also come forward, right? But then now the issue is, because I think plenty of times we have heard, Uguti, males, when they report, they either get ridiculed by police figures and all of that.
As ungafika police station bakurapile bazokulaga. So for the mere fact that certain things aren't taken seriously already tells you that akuna order. No one actually follows the rules. Everyone goes against the rules. Hence why upatali George, Coca-Cola.
That's now another thing that needs to change within the justice system, because now it will always be a one-dimensional thing if Kuguti, like the authorities are not taking it like in a broad sense and making it known and also understood. Kuguti, gender-based violence can come from both genders. It can be male against female, it can also be female against male.
It's a very sensitive issue, but I feel like also our police system is still failing us when it comes to that, because nothing is being done. I haven't seen any changes or any action that has been taken against that.
You gotta do it for your family, bro. If it can be done to another person and you just let it go, it can happen to your sister and you will need help at the end of the day. So you gotta protect whoever it is, regardless of or what. You see a person trying to beat their wife or whatever, you try to stop that on that moment, because like it can happen to anybody at any time. So if you get a chance, help somebody. That's what I feel about it.
Esikhathini esiningi abantu banokublame ugovernment ngecorruption engaka eyenziwayo. Ingakho izinga lobugebengu eSouth Africa liningi kangaka.
I no longer have faith at all in the police. And saying that I don't have faith in the police in terms of this crime that is happening in the country, everywhere else, saying that it means that I no longer have faith in the government itself, because not believing the police, what the police does is they take orders from the government. Everything, the police is a reflection of the government itself. So crime that is happening on the ground, that is happening in our communities, the source of all that crime, I believe that it is caused by the government itself. Poverty caused by government, unemployment caused by government, segregations, lack of opportunities, racism. I think the worst problem that we have now that is causing this crime is a total destruction of the black people. We are a distracted nation, a nation that is distracted, and the source of all this destruction is the government itself, by not willing to unite its people, making opportunities for its people. The black people are still underclass even this very day.
Crime rape disturba wonke umuntu, but mna into enzama uyithetha, uyabona xa uphethwe sisigebengu, don't think ukuthi abantu zikhona opportunities zokuthi bangabizi izigebengu, because first aba basiphetheyo zizigebengu, and okwesibini abantu abamnyama into ebuhlungu intoni, abantu abasibusayo singathi zi-terrorist, yazi lento kuthiwa yi-terrorist, umuntu ahijacke into yonhlungu yomnye umuntu for uzenzela imali nokuzenzela igama beyifamous, arewardwe as i-comrade, because 90% yaba bantu bebe kwi-exile nakwi-Robben Island, but abona abantu bebesilwela kakuhle ngaba belapha eSouth Africa domestic, ngaba even basayivayo le nhlungu, but aba bakwezi ndawo, I'm sorry to say that, aba bakwezi ndawo abantu bekuzi-terrorist aba. Even if ngova into ngabantu abanenyani into bebezenza ngapha komza exile, bebe-rape abantwana babantu, bebebulala abantwana babantu, besithi zispy, but xa befika apha bafika baxolela aba bantu bebesithi bebezizipy zabo.
The government, I feel, they let it go way too far. There was a stage where they could have controlled it, but now in every sector, the whole government, in every sector, every SASA, you name it, is corruption. That's all I know. Everywhere is just corruption. And the poorest of the poor, they're the ones who suffer the most. The ones who don't have nothing, us who we don't have say, we're nobodies, we're the ones who suffer the most. There's no jobs for us. There's literally nothing we can do except turn to crime.
Crime firstly begins with the people leading us. That's the first crime we have in South Africa. I'd say our government has started all of this. That's my point of view. If the government doesn't look to sort out themselves first, I don't think the citizens of the country will sort themselves out. So now what's lately happening is that government officials have been getting away with most of the crimes they do, and the police and all people that are in authority, but they go out into the public trying to arrest children that are 18 years old, trying to arrest them. They go out, that are drunk, they try to arrest the people there, or people that have parking fines, they go arrest them. They are not the serious criminals out here. The criminals that we have are in the high places, in courts, in those places of justice. And if you can see that the penalties they have for the big crimes they commit, someone can steal 14 million, then the fine they have is maybe about 30,000. If you can equate that, you can do it all over and all over again.
Okay, I think from the level of our party to I think they've long had complaints regarding a crime. So it's up to them to try to change, whether be it training or whatever, because I really do not understand ukuthi yini edingakalayo within ama SAPS right now ukuthi bekwazi respond to our crimes that we face on a daily basis. So they know in terms of that they should try to basically make changes within the SAPS. But as far as the community is concerned, I think agekho umuntu ongahlali within or ungabelongi within a certain community. So nalaba basibamba inkunzi and all that, now but they also belong in certain communities, and within those communities bayaziwa labo bantu labo. So I think the best thing would be for those community members abazi ukuthi usibanibani or ingane yakwasibanibani yenza ukuthi nokuthi kube yibona that take ilokuzana justice or bring ilokuzana justice within a community by reporting those people, because it's abantu abaphila nabo vele on a daily basis.
Most of the people who commit crimes are like people who just want to take care of their lives, or like people who just think that like it's easy to get to be successful with crime.
My advice would have been, as they always say, protection unity corner, avoid walking alone, because it seems like there is not going to be any solution up to now. Because they're just complaining on it right now. We've been complaining about it even prior 2010, during the World Cup and all of that. Up until now, Namanja, more than 10 years or 13 years or 12 years later, we are still complaining about the same thing. So avoid walking alone. But then also, if you happen to know people who are actually committing these crimes, it's best you actually report them to the nearest police station. Obviously, once you've made the report, obviously you would have done your end, because we do not know as what will happen after that, because you might find those people may not get arrested, or they may just serve 2 nights in jail. Then for some reason we may not know, then we find them committing the very same crimes. So one, make sure that you don't walk alone, especially when it comes to Gutsegundambama or at night. And then two, if you know anyone, make sure that you report them to the right authorities.
Our police must be trained enough so that patrol to keep us protected, because students are the future. So if I attack
the justice system, is doing their job, but then the problem is crime is very high. Like they cannot maintain everything at one time. So if they could, it would happen, but then sometimes it doesn't happen that way.
Maybe have pepper sprays to protect yourself,
Abantu base-South Africa ngoku zi-victims because i-ANC ifanda ngu-Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer want to pay i-vendetta kubantu abamnyama. Now namhlanje siyahlukunyezwa. Le ANC National Party in disguise le. because abantwana jonga abantwana basekuruleni babanjelwe for immaterials nezinto abangazinikwayo. You imagine umntana ona 18 years sene criminal record. Esikolweni uapply njani unesifasa uzamthatha njani?
We need an entire new system. We need someone to be above the government. That's the only way that we can have things in line. If someone in charge can then put them in place, then everyone will do their work from the top to the bottom.
Singabantu abamnyama ilula lento yazi and siyathanda kwezi zinto nzima. Thina ingxaki ubonile in majority khange sivote ne. Ibonile nawe lonto. Thina masivoteni but singavoteli icriminal. But ba icriminal uselubeke kutyeni ayizuzazi ba icriminal. Ifana nomntana wakho xa emosha abulala abantu abuya zotya kwakho uzawuzazi ubu icriminal. But xa umvimbe ukutya andithi khona into azawuyazi khona into wrong ayenzileyo. Ndiyaxoka. So ukutheni singabavimbi lento batya ngayo. Masibavimbeni lento batya ngayo. Sinika abanye. Akhathali noba benze lonto but masinike abanye lomzuzu. Ngoba xa bezawubuya at least noko ingqondo izabe itheni ibuyile. Uba sike savinje into enje. Because ibhlungu into yokuba umntana womntu afele into ayiyo. Hayi but it doesn't make sense. La mntana unomzali wakhe ngoku umntana uyigay udaliwe.
I don't know what the solution could be.
To our police, I feel like I should tell them that every time when someone needs help, that person didn't come there to play or to show off. He came from far away because we live distances from police stations, and we use money to claim taxis. So when we get there, we expect them to help us in time or on time. You see, they must not take their own time and play around or eat or talk in front of us. You see, yeah, that's my main point, that if we need help or assistance with the policemen, they must get up and help us because it's their work to help us as South African people. They must stop playing around and walking around and looking at women's bodies, because many men do that, policemen especially. After that, they will busy telling you that you must stop doing this and this to women while they are doing it to them.
Into engayenza nje singabantu ukuthi sithandaze nje. Into engayizo like abantu like baye kutshontsha abathola umsebenzi, ziningi izinto abangazenza. Ngageza imoto zabantu wenze yonke into nje. Kulula ukwenza imali la eSouth Africa. Kulula nje ziningi izinto abangazenza nje, yabo.
I think the government should just spend a little bit of their time and walk through our shoes, normal people's shoes. I don't know how it would be, how to say they should do it, but they should come in to these places themselves instead of just standing on a podium and blah 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 blah, promising people nonsense things that are not going to happen the whole time. They should come in and live and experience what is happening. In the communities, especially the poverty-struck ones. It's bad for them. There's households whereby there's a household of 14 people and nobody's working. I mean, can you imagine living in a situation like that? We 14, but no one is working. We need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to bath, we need to dress. You understand? So that was for the government side. On our side, I think as people, we should form groups, especially men. We should form groups whereby we educate each other. You know, we give opinions and like we teach each other on how to be better men. Yeah, because a man alone, you can't do it, but together we are powerful. It's so powerful, you understand. Others, they are misguided. Others, they don't have fathers growing up. So that group can be their father, lead them the right way. Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so you can receive new videos that we post daily. Thank you for watching.